Assalamu alaikum, dear student. I hope you all are well in your home. As you know that for lockdown and home quarantine, we are not able to go to school to take your class, and you also can't join us. That's why through these videos we are starting your classes. And at first I want to congratulate you for promoting in class 8. As you are reading in class 8, the first chapter of your English book is Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. As you all know that you already have read it in class 7, and there also the first chapter is that the same, and you all know that that is written by Rabindranath Tagore, who is a great poet not only for India but also in the whole world. And Where the Mind is Without Fear is taken from his famous songs offering, for which he got the Nobel Prize in 1930. And you all know that he is the first man, he is the first human being from India who got Nobel Prize. So for this we can understand that this poem is very famous, not only very famous but also very good and very high knowledgeable. And as you learned in class 7, that this is written in the period of British bondage. Means then India was in the bondage of British, and they were fighting for freedom. And the poet addresses to God, the Almighty God, for giving the freedom. And he addresses the God to make a great country which is free from all bondage, all fear, and where the mind is without fear. So where the mind is without fear means you all know that where we can think easily, where we can say easily without any hesitation, without any fear. We can say easily and we can do our best from our heart, isn't? I know that you haven't the book of class 8, but you all have the book of class 7. That's why open your 7th book and look at the first chapter, and I am also give you a look of the book. Now read with me and follow the book. Okay, now we will going to write the passages. So there you can have a look of the poem. The name of the poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear, written by Rabindranath Tagore. As you read that this poem of a part of the Nobel Prize winning collection Gitanjali. Okay, at first I want to say that Gitanjali in English translate, that is called Songs Offering. You all know that. If I say Gitanjali, that will be not true. That will be the Songs Offering. Was written before India on independence. It was translated from Bengali to English by Tagore himself. The poem describes his vision of a free India. Okay, now we will read. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Where knowledge is free. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection. So from these lines we can understand that means he is saying that, means he means the poet saying that the people of his country blindly believe in their superstitions at present, and he would like them to question this brief thought of application of logic. Means we all know that in early India or in early world, all men are depth into many superstitions. The poet want that they will be free, and they will be free from any bondage like the superstitions and the fear of the rulers also. And now we will have a look of the next part of the poem, that is where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. The meaning of the stanza is, in these lines, the poet says that in the India of his dreams, everyone should speak the truth. No person should lie for his own advantage. Everyone should make an effort to improve himself and keep lying will he till he reaches the stage of self-perfection. Next, he imagines that the reason to be unsullied stream of water through which one can progress easily and without encountering too many obstacles. On the other hand, he imagines habit to be a desert. The stream of reason seems to him to be lost in the sands of habit. And he addresses the Almighty God for doing all the things make easy and all the things will be right, because we know that no one but the Almighty God can be do this. Okay, you all know that in ancient time in India there are many superstitions, and also in the fear of the British we can't say anything of our own, and we can do anything whatever we are thinking to do. And that's why the poet addresses the God, the Almighty God, to be settled all things, because he know that no one but the God can do all this. And the poet addressed that we should not divide the world into fragments, because we are universal. Not only we are born not only for us, not only for me, we are born from the for the world and all things. We should think such a thing that will be good for the world, and that will be good for our nations also. And we all know that at that time India has no right to say anything. I want to say you that you have already read it class 7. I hope that you all understand this, and tomorrow I think you all memorize it. It is already memorized, and you will memorize soon. And tomorrow you all give me 1-page handwriting, and you can write the new words which you can't spell or which you can't know the meaning, and say me in the videos, and you can ask me questions if you had any problem on the time of your class. Okay, now for today, goodbye, and I hope that you will read it, and I hope that you will understand it. If you can't understand, just say me in the group. Okay, now assalamu alaikum.